Gregor Mendel and the Secret of Seeds. Our story begins in 1822 in a small village in the Austrian Empire. A boy named Johann Mendel was born into a poor farming family. Johann loved the garden. He watched his father grow fruit trees and tried to improve the crops. From a young age, Johann was curious about how things grew and why plants looked different. Johann was a very intelligent boy. His family was poor, but they supported his education. He loved school, especially science. He dreamed of going to university, but it was too expensive. When Johann was 21, he made a big decision. He joined the Augustinian monastery in Brno. This gave him a home and education. He took a new name, Gregor. Father Gregor Mendel was now surrounded by books and a large, quiet garden. He began to teach science to children. Gregor Mendel tried to be a high school teacher, but he struggled. He failed the official teaching exam twice. The examiners thought his answers were too focused on experimentation and not enough on old books. He returned to the monastery, determined to prove his ideas through deep, careful study. Mendel had a big question. Why do children sometimes look like their father and sometimes like their mother, but sometimes look like neither? Farmers knew that crossing two plants gave different results, but no one knew the rules. Mendel decided to find the mathematical secret of inheritance. He needed a perfect plant. He chose the common pea plant because pea plants grow fast and they have clear, simple differences, tall or short, yellow seeds or green seeds. For 8 long years, Mendel worked in a small, isolated area of the monastery garden. He started with 34 types of peas, but he narrowed it down to 7 traits. He carefully covered each delicate pea flower with small paper bags to stop bees in nature from mixing the pollen. He was carefully controlling nature itself. Mendel was not just a gardener, he was a statistician. He counted everything. He crossed 28,000 pea plants and wrote down every single result in his notebooks. This massive amount of counting was new for biology. Most scientists just looked. Mendel counted and used mathematics to find the patterns. In his first experiment, Mendel crossed a pure tall plant with a pure short plant. What happened? All the new plants were tall. The short trait seemed to disappear completely. Mendel called the visible trait dominant, like tall, and the hidden trait recessive, like short. Next, Mendel crossed the new generation of tall plants with each other. This was the moment of discovery. The lost short trait suddenly came back. For every 4 plants, 3 were tall and 1 was short. The ratio was always 3 to 1. Mendel realized that characteristics are passed down by tiny, invisible factors. We now call these factors genes. Every plant received 2 factors for each trait, 1 from each parent. Mendel summarized his findings into simple rules, now known as the laws of inheritance. He discovered that these factors separate completely during reproduction and then recombine randomly. In 1865, Mendel finally presented his work to the local scientific society. He spoke calmly about his numbers and his laws. But the scientists did not understand the importance of his work. His paper was published but quickly forgotten. Mendel's ideas were too revolutionary. Scientists thought inheritance was like mixing paint, where red and white always make pink. Mendel showed it was like mixing marbles, where the marbles stay separate. A few years later, Mendel was elected abbot, the leader of the monastery. His new duties meant he had less time for his garden. He put his pea plants aside. The father of genetics died in 1884, believing his greatest work was a failure. Mendel's work remained hidden for 35 years. Then, around the year 1900, 3 different European scientists, Hugo de Vries, Karl Korrens and Erich von Schermach all did similar experiments and reached the same conclusions. They found Mendel's old paper and realized he had solved the mystery decades earlier. The rediscovery of Mendel's work created the modern science of genetics. Today, we use Mendel's laws every day. Doctors use them to understand inherited diseases. Farmers use them to create stronger crops. Mendel's life teaches us the value of patience and precise observation. He did not seek fame. He only sought truth. He worked alone for years, believing in his numbers. Gregor Mendel, the humble monk who loved his garden, answered the question of inheritance and gave us the map of life. His legacy grows stronger every day. The end.